So good morning, everybody. It's very warm welcome to this 9th IAIS Global Seminar. This global seminar is very special. Very special, first of all, this is highest attended IAIS Global Seminar. We have 228 registrants. And of course, this is the best ever of IAIS Global Seminar. Some of you know that this room is very, very special for IAIS history. 2008, we have annual conference, Hungary, Budapest in this room. And we decided to kick off Conframe, which leads our capital initiative, GSII initiative, and all. So new IAIS was kicked off from this room, and new IAIS was established from the beginning at this room. So Hungary is very special. And Hungary is very special not only because of that history, but also warm hospitality of Hungarian authority and beautiful town. And in addition, thanks to Hungarian authority, we have a beautiful weather today, and yesterday too. So I would like to thank our host, Hungarian authority, to make this happen. And Mr. Nagy, particularly leading Hungarian insurance supervision in the Central Bank of Hungary. So I just ask Mr. Nagy to open this ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kawai. Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, dear Saporta, Ms. Saporta, dear Mr. Kawai, on behalf of the Magyar Nemzeti Bank, MNB, the Central Bank of Hungary, it is my great pleasure to welcome you here this morning. After the annual conference in 2008, I'm very proud of having the opportunity to host another event of the IAIS that attracts so many colleagues from all over the world. This is the third time, and this is the third occasion to receive you, the representatives of the Insurance Supervisory Society. As a head of insurance supervision at the MNB and IOPA boss member of Hungary, let me express our acknowledgement that you are here in Budapest. Just to give you a number, the registration received for this seminar well exceeded 200. Therefore, I think this number really reflects the increasing importance of our work. This seminar is expected to give a comprehensive overview and introduction of IAIS ongoing work. Furthermore, it is also a good occasion for supervisors and supervising institutions to meet each other, both formally and informally. This forum will provide both members and stakeholders with the opportunity to have a conversation on IAIS priorities, issues of common interest and future initiatives. I'm personally convinced that this will be a value added for both sides. The session on the Global Capital Standard and the development of the insurance capital standard will summarize the development of the ICS. You will hear about the progress made to date, about outstanding issues, next steps, future milestones, and the timetable for completion. The members of the panels will inform you about the further development of the GCII assessment and designation process, about the implementation of the ICPs, and about the role of the assessment in improving and converging supervisory practices. You can expect interesting discussion on cyber risk and cyber insurance, relatively new class, and on how IAIS reacts in its standard setting to this phenomenon. There will be 3 sessions tomorrow covering more general issues: the Distinguished Fellows Roundtable, the session on selected insurance issues in emerging economics and developing insurance markets, and on the status of the global insurance market, which will offer you the views of a wide range of supervisors from the most different concerns of the world. I sincerely look forward to learning and sharing the opinion and experience of other supervisors from different jurisdictions. I'm personally convinced that it is of utmost importance that the supervised sector knows about the background and reasons for the new standards, regulations and supervisory practices. That is why the knowledge sharing offered by the global seminar of the IAIS is of such outstanding significance. I'm confident that you will have a valuable seminar. You will gain comprehensive information and a good overview of the state of the standard setting and implementation supporting activity of the IAIS. And I sincerely hope that after the seminar you will have some time to get a good atmosphere in Budapest. Finally, please remember Budapest in your heart and take home the good pictures of the city and come again with your families and friends to enjoy the hospitality of the Hungarian people. Enjoy the seminar, enjoy the city. Thank you very much.
So I will introduce our chairman, Vicky Saporta. Vicky has succeeded our chairman last year, our Morocco conference, and around half a year, we have already achieved huge. We have achieved huge, and you will see for next 2 days what we have achieved. And I will commit, and thanks to your commitment, we will achieve huge things in next coming year. So Vicky will introduce our IAIS current activities and also our direction. So Vicky, thank you.
Thank you, Yoshi. Thank you, Mr. Nagy. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 9th IAIS Global Seminar. On behalf of the IAIS, it is my pleasure to welcome you to Budapest. I want to begin this morning by recognizing and thanking our hosts, the Central Bank of Hungary and Mr. Nagy, for organizing and hosting this key IAIS event. As Yoshi said, this is not the first time the Hungarian authorities have hosted us. They have been contributing as founding members of the IAIS since 1994 in various capacities, including at times being members of our executive committee, and they hosted us also on a memorable occasion, most recently in 2008, as Yoshi said. I wasn't there, but I have heard tales about it, and usually, given where I work and the type of people I usually interact, you know, sort of economists and actuaries, etc., they're not very prone to overstatement. But you know, the tales were quite, oh, it's wonderful, the hospitality is wonderful, the wine is wonderful, the food is wonderful, the city is wonderful. Well, they're right. Thank you very much. So, before we dive into our program, I would like to speak to you briefly this morning about the association. Because of timing issues, I'll try to keep it at high level. But it's essentially the who, the what, and the how. On the who, we are currently a global, what we do, our mission is to produce global standards in order to promote policyholder protection and to contribute to financial stability. This is what the mission are, this is who we are. Now, who you are always depends on your background and your history. So we are reaching a stage of maturity, and we have evolved since our foundation in 1994, we're a relatively young standard setting institution. So we started in 1994 as a forum for the exchange of views among standard setters. Then rapidly afterwards, we produced the core principles that remain at high level and are applied to all firms in the world in order to try to raise standards globally, but at high level. Then we produced ways of actually assisting the implementation of the core principles, and through our history, we have revised them twice. Now, the core principles apply to all institutions and are the foundation of a standard setting activity. And it's what you want to, I think, always as the first tier, the foundation. Above that, in recent years, as we matured, we have been developing ComFrame, the second tier of our standard setting activity. ComFrame applies to the larger firms, around 55, and they're not, in order to become a larger firm, an internationally active insurance group is the terminology, an IAIG. Not only you need to be large as measured by premia, but also you need to be internationally active, and there is a definition of that as well. So ComFrame lies above the ICP, the second tier, and then the third tier applies to an even smaller set of firms that are defined in terms of scope by what happens to the rest of the system in the event of their distress or even failure. And these are the GSI policy measures, globally systemically important insurance policy measures that apply to the globally systemically important insurers. So these are the three tiers of our standard setting activities that are proportionately more stringent as we go from the foundation up to the third tier. So this is the way I look at a standard setting activity. We do not only produce standard settings, and we do not only contribute to financial stability, but we also try to, as part of that mission, develop capacity. We are a very diverse and open institution, and that is also building supervisory capacity is very much part of our mandate. So so this is who we are. In that context, I want to make 3 points that I keep on making, I've made before in other fora, so apologies to those who have heard me make them before, but they're very important. First, we, the IAIS, as I said, we're a standard setter and we contribute to financial stability. We're not a legislator. We don't pass laws. We're not a treaty-based organization. We just recommend standards and best practices, provide guidance, application material, and assist supervisors in implementation. In pursuing this role, I beg your pardon. In carrying out this role, I think of us as being a process through which supervisors, and we are a body of supervisors, we are not a body of finance ministries, we're a body of supervisors. So the technical side of standard setting, we share information and expertise in order to produce these standards. It is the prerogative of the appropriate jurisdictions to implement these standards. It's the prerogative of the appropriate institutions that have the democratic mandates to produce these standards. I mean, we hope, obviously, that our standards are technically robust enough that they will be introduced by the relevant legislators, but it is their prerogative to do so. This reality in certain debates across the world is often forgotten, and it is very important that it is emphasized. Second, I touched upon it before, we are an inclusive association. We don't only cater for one part of the community of insurance supervisors. We have 200 jurisdictions in nearly 140 countries that account for 97% of the world's insurance premium. And despite the fact that I come from a large country, well, actually a small country with a large financial sector, more precisely, I'm personally committed to ensure that the diverse activities that cater for supervisors across the world are maintained, because I think they give our association a unique identity. Third, we are committed to transparency and recognize the important role stakeholder engagement plays in the work we do. We have changed our model of interaction with stakeholders, from a model where we had observers to a model where we have stakeholders. And that does not mean that we have decreased our engagement with industry. Indeed, on several metrics, you can show that over the last 2 years, we have increased our engagement. Having said that, and that's not what my notes say, it is clear to me that we are in a transitional period. Both ourselves, the supervisors, and our stakeholders, as we are forging a new relationship. And last year was clearly a transitional year, a year of change, when we're trying to think about how we would forge that new relationship. This is the second year. I hope at this global seminar we can both show how we have made progress by having a more interactive and proper dialogue. We also have a stakeholder engagement task force that is working, and that's one of our priorities actually this year, to develop a more comprehensive stakeholder engagement plan. And they're going to be, they're reporting regularly to us in terms of updates, but they're going to be reporting to us later on. And it's run by Takashi Hamani and Kevin McCarthy from the NAIC and the Japanese FSA, who Takashi's here today. So these are the 3 points that I wanted to highlight. In closing, I would like to thank again the Central Bank of Hungary and Mr. Nagy for hosting us this week. I look forward to a day or 2 days actually of good interaction, good engagement, and I also look forward to your feedback on this event, because this is a process as we go forward. And finally, I look forward to welcome as many of you as possible in our event in Paraguay that this year is going to be open to all stakeholders. Thank you very much.
So thank you, Vicky, and thank you, Mr. Nagy, for this opening. So let's kick off of today's seminar. So this seminar, as I said, is special. And first of all, we prepared this seminar very carefully. You have already seen agenda. We covered all the key issues that we are now debating. So we provide you, our stakeholders, our members, the most updated information. Just quick overview of what we are going to discuss for next 2 days. So we cover very hot, urgent issues like GSII methodology, GSII issues, as well as capital that we are going to discuss. And also our heart of the IAIS. We are existing for the sake and protection and interest of policyholders. We discuss consumer protection issue. We discuss cyber issues, the new emerging risk from the protection of policyholders of more wider context. And also IAIS key activities for our emerging market implementation issue. We specifically discuss our assessment issue in the context of implementation, and we have tomorrow a special session for emerging market developing economies issue. And in addition, we are going to discuss our current market. Of course, low interest rate and quite big volatility, they're a huge challenge. Tomorrow we discuss this market situation. But I just want to stress two specific or very special occasions in this global seminar. One is we have a dialogue, specifically dialogue that you provided questions. We have very elaborated program this afternoon for dialogue with you stakeholders. And tomorrow we have a special session, so-called Distinguished Fellow. I'm very much personally involved to insist on this dialogue. Our Distinguished Fellow just create a huge contribution to the association where we are. So we would like to ask our Distinguished Fellows' wisdom for our future's development. The goal of these 2 days is very clear for us, and I would like to hope that you share. Of course, we select the very best speakers, thanks to you, and we select very best locations, thanks to Mr. Nagy, and we have select very best topics that we discuss. But you, audience, your participation is critically important. Just 2 examples, in the audience. Our mother of Conframe is here. Mother, Monica Mechler. She started Conframe and she's here. And father of GSI methodology is here. Hiro Hayasaki. So all your participation, active participation is critical. Association was built up thanks to you. And this magical place that new IAIS was created 2008, we'd like to make it happen. And this global seminar, we want to keep this momentum and learn each other and to make new IAIS really realized. So thank you. So we will kick off.